happy to have you here on a highly questionable Tuesday. This is ESPN senior correspondent Mina Kimes. What do you like on the show today, Mina?
Looking forward to Rob Ninkovich telling a great story about Bill Belichick.
Yes, we interview Ninkovich. Ramos, papi.
How comfortable are you saying the Dodgers will make the World Series?
Wow, my father struggles with comfortable. Just learned that together. We didn't know that before now. They added Yu Darvish. They're the most overwhelming team in baseball. They're on pace to win more games than a National League team has won in more than 100 years. They are totally overwhelming as a baseball team. What is it now? 74-31 is their record. However, baseball is cruel, baseball is random in the playoffs, and they could very easily get to the playoffs and lose a series because baseball's funny that way.
I'm very comfortable. I'm so comfortable, I'm tempted to ask Poppy to pick up the phone and call Juanito because they're the closest thing it gets to a sure thing right now. They were already the best team in baseball with the best run differential, the best ERA and OBP in the National League, and then they went out and got better. They added Yu Darvish. They also added some lefty relievers. That's going to help them in the playoffs with Bryce Harper. I mean, this is a very, very difficult team to beat. And you know what? Call Juanito.
Okay,
Let's
call Juanito, but we're putting in the bet, Poppy. Let's go. Wow, this is a weird thing.
Hey, Juanito, we're having a discussion here. Mina says that the Dodgers are going to make it to the World Series. I'm not too convinced. What do you think? I mean, you're not too convinced either. Well, I tell you what, you don't put all my money on the Dodgers yet. Two-thirds of my money on the Cubs and about a third of my money on the Dodgers. And see what happens, right? All right, we go that way, Juanito.
My father hedging Mina's bet to an imaginary bookie on a banana phone because he wants to be careful with his money, even though nobody's at the other end of that.
Somehow I feel worse about myself now.
And you should.
Does Jamal Adams deserve criticism for calling the football field the perfect place to die?
Amazing commentary here that speaks to the bulletproof nature that many young athletes have, especially in that sport. Weird that he would be doing this right next to Roger Goodell. He is going to speak to clarify his comments right about now, 4:45 Eastern. He's going to walk that back, one would think, from, hey, that's not where I want to die, but maybe merely be paralyzed or leak spinal fluid. I don't know how he's going to walk it back. Let's see what we've got here in terms of sound.
Yeah, I can speak for a lot of guys that play the game. We live and breathe, and this is what we're so passionate about. Literally, if I had a perfect place to die, I would die on the field. I would be at peace. Literally, I would be at peace, and that's not a lie.
It's worth noting here that Jamal Adams was asked a question about CTE, but I don't think his answer was about CTE. He wasn't saying he was comfortable facing down depression or dementia or those symptoms. No, he was saying he loves this game so much that he's willing to take that small risk of dying a swift, violent death, that is something that he's willing to comprehend.
If you don't want to take the serious route on this, though, you can take the funny one. Can you imagine Roger Goodell's concern inside his head as he's got his young players saying the perfect place to die is a football field, and it's met with applause from the audience for some reason, and then he's got to go in there and start denying that the CTE report recently, about 110 of 111 players having CTE, he's got to run in there and be the piñata on that.
Hell, I'm going to die right here on this set, and you guys are going to notice it, though.
We aren't going to notice it? Okay. We'll notice. We'll keep doing the show about 7 or 8 years after that, though. Keep propping them up right here. Use voice boxes, graphics. You won't even notice.
Weekend at Poppy's.
Is it that the NCAA ruled UCF's kicker ineligible for making YouTube videos?
Ineligible is the word he was looking for. YouTube videos is the phrase he was looking for, and I think the UCF kicker is who he was identifying. Other than that, he was perfect on that one. Of course, it's bull bleep that they wouldn't allow him to monetize a YouTube channel the way the rest of us could, that there are rules that are different for these people who are working amid the injustice than they are for regular people. And good for him for saying, never mind, keep my education. I'm going to take the principle and I'm going to go keep making YouTube videos.
I think what's remarkable here is even most of the people who think that colleges can't afford to pay athletes would concede that they should at least be allowed to make money on the side in the way that, music students can teach music lessons. And this is a particularly egregious example of the NCAA cutting off its nose to spite its smug face, because This guy is great for football. I mean, why else would I watch a UCF football game if not to see their cool trick kicker? I mean, this is just bad economics.
One of the reasons to watch a UCF football game is they've got a cornerback who doesn't have a hand. That's one reason to watch. It's off point. It doesn't have anything to do with what we're talking about, but that is a reason to watch.
His brother's on the Seahawks, actually.
I mean, he's very good. He's really good. I think he was the Conference Defensive Player of the Year.
Very inspiring story.
Well, I have a video that I like to show to the NCAA.
Uh-oh. Let's go
What
ahead.
is it?
That's right.
What is it? You're going to make
Bring it in. Bring it in. Closer.
You're gonna
Come
make it
on.
right now?
Bring it in. Closer. Bring the camera in. Closer. Closer. Closer.
Oh, wow.
Closer. A little bit closer. Here you have it. There you have it. That's for the NCAA.
All right, two of them.
Should the NBA take Daryl Morey's advice and get rid of its awards?
What a strange thing here. Daryl Morey was talking to Sports Illustrated, and he wants, as a data guy is wont to do, he wants something rigid and precise in the way we measure these things because his guy, James Harden, didn't get credit for the MVP award with victories, the way Russell Westbrook got the MVP award, even though he won less than James Harden. And you know Daryl Morey's argument wouldn't be this at all if James Harden had merely won this award that he now wants to abolish.
Yeah, it's easy to make fun of Daryl for complaining this right after Harden lost. And Blake Griffin, by the way, did a better job making fun of him than either of us will. But he does have a point. I mean, they have given it in the past to players based on their team's records. Russell Westbrook did move the goalpost a little, but that's how awards work. They're inherently subjective. That's why it's so fun to argue about them, because the bounds of them are constantly in flux. I understand why that's frustrating for a guy like Daryl Morey, who's built his entire career on trying to quantify things that happen on the basketball court. But awards are an art, not a science.
Well, he should give back his Executive of the Year award. I'm only kidding. He never won any.
It's cold. So cold.
And true.
Does Tyron Woodley deserve an apology from Dana White?
He is angry. This guy has been a good champion. He has been a model citizen in that sport, and he fought a fight that was not entertaining on Saturday. And so you've got two different interests in play here. Dana White needs entertaining, interesting fights. Woodley just needs to win his fights. Doesn't matter whether they're entertaining or not, and was fighting with a torn labrum, so he just wanted to get through the fight to survive it. He does deserve an apology from Dana White because they've got two different jobs here.
As best as I can understand, UFC fans are angry because there wasn't enough action in this fight. There wasn't enough blood and contact. Actually set the record for the lowest number of strikes in a single bout. To which I say, man, if UFC fans are angry about this, I cannot wait for Mayweather McGregor. I mean, have you guys seen Floyd Mayweather fight?
Yes.
The man has spent his entire life not getting struck in the face. I hope you're excited for a whole night of Conor McGregor punching at the air.
I gotta say something to Dana, you know? I mean, Dana talks big, but he never has to go into the ring. He never has to fight with anybody. He just talks, and grab the money. Talks, and grab the money.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Give that fighter a break. Well, you know, I mean, the guy's giving you everything he got. Give him a break. Give him a pass,
That's not entirely fair. He talks and talks and talks and takes the money and also looks like a sunburnt snowman. He also does that.
Coming up next on my son Stevie Shaw, Rob Ninkovich.
I just blurted out a call from college, like a call that wasn't even in the playbook. Like we didn't even have that play. And he looked at me and he goes, "We don't even have that play, Rob." And I was sitting there and I was just like, I don't know what this. I don't know.
My son Stevie Shaw is brought to you by Burger King. Indulge in bold Italian flavors of the new chicken Parmesan sandwich for a limited time only at Burger King. Joining us at the beach today, Rob Ninkovich.
Recently retired Patriot, two-time Super Bowl champion, as his fingers might tell you. Let's talk to him a little bit. Rob, if I may, as we get started, can I see your hands real quick? You don't go anywhere in public like this, do you? Outside of SportsCenter and ESPN, you don't do right. Never. You never wear that
This is
out.
the first
correct?
time This is the first time I've ever had these on my hands. But besides just like putting them on and showing someone, I've never worn these like out to public or anything. You don't do that.
So gaudy, though. Do they even fit on the other finger? Because what is that? Like what a ring for the middle finger? Like that doesn't even.
Well, I mean, they're so big they're like big Easter eggs. So you figure if I put that anywhere else on my hand, it would just look silly. So I put it right on the middle finger, and then, you know, obviously when I want to show someone, you just show them the fingers and they like it. You know?
I'm curious here. There are stories told about Bill Belichick, for example, that he likes listening to the Jerky Boys crank calls on his computer, and if you walk into his office at certain times, he might have tears in his eyes from laughing at crank calls from the 90s. Give us a Belichick story that people might be surprised to learn about Belichick.
One of them was 2009. I was playing against Jacksonville Jaguars, and it was at our place, and I was young and I was afraid to make a mistake, so I wanted to be perfect, and I knew if I made a mistake, I was going to get kicked off the field and I wouldn't have another chance. So needless to say, I made a play. I thought it was a good play, but it wasn't where I was supposed to be. So Bill comes up to me screaming at me, "What are you doing? You know, he was screaming at me, the loudest he's ever screamed probably I've ever experienced. And I looked at him, and in the moment I was so scared and nervous, like I just blurted out a call from college, like a call that wasn't even in the playbook. Like we didn't even have that play. And he looked at me and he goes, "We don't even have that play, Rob." And I was sitting there and I was just like, I don't know what this, I don't know. So
you and Bill actually have something in common, right, with your heritage?
we were Croatian, yeah. He doesn't speak the language. I can only say a few words, but I tried to say something to him like "Kako si" is "how are you?" and he looked at me and was like, I don't
Right, I don't.
Just like that, like I don't speak that.
Right.
You know?
True or false, Sean Payton told you that the only way to make the Saints was as a long snapper. True or false?
True.
Okay, the statute of limitations is up. You're out of the league. You're retired. Anything you'd like to say to Sean Payton and my instigation right here on the show now? You might want to use those fingers. Those fingers might be useful now if there's anything you want to say to Sean Payton.
Coach, thank you so much for bringing me to New Orleans. I love the city. I met my wife there, and we have 2 beautiful kids, all because I got drafted down to New Orleans.
Not what I was hoping you would do there, Ninkovich. Like not
and I
that.
got, and I got 2 rings. I got 2 rings.
There he is.
But that's not direct.
Babe.
I'm just showing. See, that's the thing. I'm showing him that I have the rings, but it's not directed to him in a negative way.
Before we get to my father here, one last question. Give me one name. The guy that you saw on the other side of the line of the scrimmage who was blocking, and you're like, I don't want to go over there. That's going to be unpleasant.
Dwayne.
I prefer, what is it?
Dwayne Brown from the
Okay.
Texans.
Yeah, you didn't
That
hesitate.
guy is big and strong and fast and just a guy that every time I knew I lined up against him, I had to make sure I was ready to take on a big, strong man, and I didn't want to get thrown over the Gatorade table, if you know what I mean. He's one of those guys, so you try to avoid him, try to wiggle around him and not go through him.
Rob, my father, we alerted my father to something here. My father has something for you. Apparently we woke him up just now. What do you got for him, Rob?
Yes, Rob. What is the most romantic thing you have done for your wife, Paige?
The most romantic thing. Well, you know what's funny? Her birthday is the 14th, August 14th, and I'm planning something that's going to be the most romantic thing she's ever done, and I really can't spoil it, but it's the first month in August that I've ever had since we've known each other that I could actually do something
nice.
for her birthday. So this is going to be the most romantic thing I've ever done, and I can't spoil it, but Paige, on your birthday, we're going to do something.
How about the second one?
The second most
I'll
romantic.
give you the first
my
one. How about the
father
second one?
really pressing you on this.
So for Christmas one time, my wife is always like, give me something that means like is like different. So I came up with like these coupons, like 10-minute foot rub, like dinner date, me and you, and I laminate them. I did everything. I put them in the laminator. I cut them out so they're waterproof, and they're like coupons. So I thought it was a good idea, and I think she never used them. So
She never did.
I don't know if that was
Maybe
romantic
she used
or
them
not.
with somebody else. I'm sorry to bring that up.
I've definitely done that for my mom, who also didn't use them.
Like,
See you
do the
later, Rob.
dishes
Good
for you.
talking to you.
Okay, keep your eyes closed.
Okay.
I want to show you my first ever painting.
All right.
Okay. Open your eyes.
Oh, that's a lot of colors and shapes.
So be honest. What do you think?
Well, I like how if you switch to Geico, you could save hundreds of dollars on car insurance.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Here, why don't I hold your paintbrush while you call them?
Geico, because saving 15% or more on car insurance is always a great answer.
Highly questionable is broadcast from the Clevelander Hotel on beautiful South Beach, Miami. Time to play the game that doesn't have time for games. Do you question?
You give us topic and events, we question him.
He doesn't move real fast. He's old.
Do you question who made the worst mistake?
That should be the name of this show. I know I keep saying that, but tell me that wouldn't be a great name for this show. Just videos of do you question who made the worst mistake? We go out to Romanian soccer because we'll go anywhere looking for mistakes.
All right, own goal, what do we got here?
Red team is on offense. Red team is on... keeper! Keeper!
Oh! Gotta go with the second guy.
Oh, Romanian failure.
Romanian failure.
I mean, the worst mistake is the guy who didn't capitalize on the goal,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Oh, for the love of
Keeper
God,
just
dude.
tripped.
I mean, come on, man.
Oh, yeah, I mean, he just slipped. That's defensible.
And
Wow.
number 9 is so tired of playing with that other Romanian incompetent.
Everyone on that field is so angry right now.
Those are very bad mistakes, but I have seen worse.
Oh, really? My father's new trick of just going to other video.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
Yeah, there it is. I mean, that is just,
Wow.
that is so bad. Everyone
No.
involved. I know, right? It's just unbelievable.
Okay, no, that was worse. That was worse. The guys in the previous video should watch this video.
All right, hold on a second. I want to watch that video yet again because I love that delightful surprise at the end.
I didn't see it coming.
No, look at the end, though. The very end.
Okay.
But at the very end, there's your injured
All
keeper who's
right.
100 years old,
Very
and then he
obvious.
misses it. But watch in your lower right-hand screen, this guy's stupefied right there. That guy, like, you got to be bleeping kidding me.
He is all of us.
Do you question if this person is showing off?
All right, let's see the preener. What's happening here?
Got a Rubik's Cube. I mean, he's wearing a superhero costume. He's obviously showing off.
His eyes are also closed, Mina. I don't even understand how he did this.
This is so New York, by the way. Look at the people next to him who could care less about what this man is doing.
Mina, did you just say that a guy with his eyes closed solving the Rubik's Cube on the subway is so New York? That's
No,
what
no,
just
no,
happened?
no. It's the bystanders who could care less about said guy.
This is unbelievable, though. Not only is he just showing
Oh,
off.
he opened his eyes.
I mean, this guy should tour the globe doing this. Like, how is he able to do that with his eyes closed?
The studied apathy is what really makes it.
Well, that's not impressive. This is impressive.
That's not impressive. This is.
All right, we got a kid.
This is such
doing
a
the
cheap
oh,
trick. I mean, it's true. It is impressive.
okay.
Wow.
All right.
Yeah.
Is he going to solve it?
Yes, of course he is. Mina, that would be really not impressive if he weren't to solve it. If he got like a half
Well,
a
it's
side.
taken a long time. It's been like 10 seconds. Come on.
I mean,
The
do you
bar
really
is
think
here.
this video is going to end with him not solving it?
Yeah.
Mina, you went to Harvard.
Yale.
Yale, whatever.
Time to play the game that love wearing leather. See? Or no?
She didn't do the head thing. You tell us what's on television tonight. We'll tell you if we're intrigued or not.
On Masson, Nationals and Marlins.
No, not interested in this, but was interested last night. Called my father. I was all excited. Papi, Gio's got a no-hitter. Gio's got a no-hitter because he loves Gio Gonzalez. And then as soon as my father tunes into the no-hitter, this happens right here, right? Of course, because of course this happened. As soon as I told him. And Gio curses all the way back to the
That's a
dugout.
lot of applause there.
Yeah, and there it is. My father was bumming. Yeah, look, the catcher's mad there. Mina, are you intrigued?
Not really for tonight. Marlins are kind of out of it. Max Scherzer is pitching. I can't bring myself to watch him after trading him for Freddie Freeman a few months ago. People want to hear about my fantasy team,
No,
right?
nobody
That's
wants
what
to hear
they
about
want
that.
to
Poppy, go
know.
ahead. Poppy, are you intrigued? Nobody wants to hear about our fantasy team. Poppy, are you intrigued?
Oh, see,
Second
I'm
place.
very intrigued. I'm telling you, something bad is going to happen to the Gordon tonight. He has pulled that no-hitter. You know, tonight they're going to go after the Gordon. Tonight they're going to make sure that he doesn't spoil another no-hitter.
They're
You
gonna
watch.
hit him for
That's
breaking
right.
up
That's
a
right
no-hitter.
here. They're going to grab it right here.
Wow, right in the ear. I mean, what?
That's right. You don't do that to the Nationals and get away with it, buddy. And that's a mean bunch of players what you got there in the Nationals, though.
Didn't know that.
On MTV, Fear Factor.
Mina, are you squeamish? You're squeamish?
I don't want to watch.
Okay, we've got creatures being dropped on the face of contestants. They've got to guess what the creatures are. We are going to discuss Mina right now. Keep the camera on Mina so she can be disgusted. Let's check what we've got here.
You okay? Don't like this.
Creatures.
What is going to happen?
Yes, creatures on the face.
No!
Yes!
No!
Yes! Guess what they are? Yes, so many creatures on the face. Yes! Yes! In the mouth. In the mouth. Get in the mouth. Yes. In the nose.
Nobody wants to watch this.
Yes, find in the nose. Yes.
She doesn't know what they are.
Yes, they're just tiny, adorable mice. Tiny and adorable.
You got these.
No!
Oh, yes! Yes! Keep that camera on Mina's face! Keep that camera on Mina's face! Yes!
Relax. They're cold.
No! Why would she relax?
Yes, keep it on her face! I told you! Yes, what are those? Crabs!
Stop!
Correct.
Crabs, scorpions, what are those?
No!
Yes.
No!
Next beast.
No.
Here we go.
No!
Yes.
Come on.
Yes, more beetles.
Come on.
Yes, giant bugs. Yes. Yes. Yes, I feel like Mina's already given her her answer. Yes, you were clear. You shouted it 100 times.
No.
Bobby, are you intrigued? All right, never mind. Let's just end the show. We're not going to do better than that. Let's go.
No!
That's all the time we have for today. Thank you for watching.
Mina's here all week. Grateful for her presence. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Sorry, Mina. Man, she's just disgusted.
Mina, you're kind of soft, you know that? Very soft.
I do know that.
Wow, okay. She knows it already.
All too aware.
All right, very good.